Hey everyone, welcome back here to Weather on the Go. All your weather coverage on this first day of fall, Monday, September 22nd, 2025. And my name is Hunter. We're going to be going through the forecast here across Canada, the United States, and the tropics. So in this forecast, fall severe weather season is underway and right on time, as today is the first day of fall, as we're going to be looking at daily severe weather chances across parts of the United States as we go through this week. And we're going to be highlighting the areas most at risk for damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes. Recurving Typhoon could bring a major cold front to the central and eastern U.S. as we go sometime in early or mid-October. We're going to be looking at the potential for that and your full tropical weather update at the end, including new development in the Atlantic that we have to touch on that could have, to be watched in the United States East Coast, the Southeast Coast, including Florida, the Bahamas, may need to watch this. We're going to keep an eye on it and talk about it in the video. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, and if you do subscribe, make sure you turn on the post notification bell and press it to all so you get all my videos and live streams as I post them on here. So subscribe. Like the video, give it a thumbs up, and share it with a friend, family member, and on social media. So enough of that. Let's get into the forecast. We got a low pressure down here into the Texas Panhandle on your Monday afternoon today. That will be traveling eastward near the Ohio River by Wednesday afternoon. So notice it really moves 4 states in 2 days. So pretty slow. And that means we're going to have daily chances of severe weather. So starting this afternoon, multiple areas we're watching here in yellow from Iowa into eastern Nebraska and northwest Missouri, and then another area in yellow down here across Kansas into northern Oklahoma, and then yet another area in yellow from Ohio down into Kentucky, parts of western West Virginia. Those are the areas where we have the heightened risk of severe weather, where damaging winds and hail will be possible, along with a few tornadoes. Areas in dark green, that is where we have more of an isolated coverage of storms. And as we go into Tuesday, same deal, but a little bit further south, we're talking southeastern Oklahoma, northeast Texas into Arkansas, so Little Rock included, Ardmore down there toward the Dallas-Fort Worth and Texarkana region, areas outlined in dark green near Nashville, for example, Memphis, Tupelo down there back into the Abilene area in Texas, isolated coverage of severe storms on Tuesday. And then as we go into Wednesday midweek, right now a broad brushed area of some isolated severe weather from the Ohio River near Louisville and Cincinnati, all the way down here through Nashville, Jackson, into the Huntsville region, and even in towards the Baton Rouge area in Louisiana, Houston, Corpus Christi, along the Texas coast included as well. So back in August on my fall forecast, we mentioned how the Mississippi Valley and even parts of the southeast coast were at a well above normal pace for severe weather this fall season. And it looks like that is going to start to come to fruition starting this week, and then any tropical interest near the southeast coast as we go deeper here into the fall season. So as we go into the afternoon, more so this evening, I think we're going to start to see these scattered episodes of severe weather. Again, one area up into Iowa and eastern Nebraska, another more intense area down here into Kansas and northern portions of Oklahoma, and then more scattered variety from Ohio into West Virginia and eastern Kentucky, just seeing mainly a threat for damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, some quarter-size hail, but a few tornadoes will also be possible, so watch out, guys. And then as we go into Tuesday, it's mainly a late afternoon, early evening threat here, so around dinner time, the rush hour, as you're heading home from any outdoor sporting activities, for example, after school or maybe coming home from work. Little Rock could get a little bumpy there, back here into Fort Smith, Arkansas, Ardmore, and the Dallas-Fort Worth area. These bigger cells, you can see the purple showing up there. That's more of those intense hail cores and some damaging wind gusts, even a couple tornadoes possible. And then once we go into Wednesday, again, late afternoon, early evening favored, more of an isolated scattered coverage from the Ohio River southward into the Tennessee Valley, Cumberland Plateau, eastern Tennessee, back down here into the Dixie Alley region of Alabama, Mississippi, into Louisiana. Watching out for that as we go into, again, late afternoon, early evening on Wednesday. All of these episodes of severe weather are going to add up to one thing, and that's some heavy rainfall. We're going to be seeing some pretty heavy rain along and south of the Ohio River, especially for states of Kentucky, Tennessee, back there into northern Arkansas, and even the boot heel of Missouri, where we could potentially see an upwards of 4 to 5 inches of rain in just a few days here this week. Sharp cutoff to the north, so Des Moines, Chicago, Milwaukee, all the way toward Detroit, for example, may see some rain out of this, but I think of the most part, the heaviest will be further to the south. Now, this area that's getting the rainfall is a great area to get it because we have a lot of drought and intense drought starting to build across the Ohio River Valley, into the mid-Mississippi Valley, these reds showing up into the Boot Heel of Missouri, into the Clarksville area, for example, in northwest Tennessee. That's an extreme drought, folks, so we need the rainfall. We just don't need it all at once, so hopefully it's spread out over a few days here this week. Now, as we look at our temperatures this week, where it's going to be raining, you got rain cooled air, so a little bit more normal to below normal with our temperatures. Where it's drier further north, the upper Midwest, the Northeast, especially into Canada, we're going to be above to well above normal with our temperatures this week. And that doesn't mean we're going to see 100-degree temperatures. It is September and late September at that, but it does mean we're going to be seeing more 70s and 80s expected throughout the week. While that could change as we go into early, even mid-October, as a recurving typhoon halfway across the world in towards Asia could actually bring a major cold front here locally to the central and eastern United States, as the Climate Prediction Center is forecasting below normal temperatures for the upper Midwest Great Lakes region as we go between October 4th and the 17th. A positive PNA, the Pacific North American Oscillation, is going to favor more of a above normal temperature regime across the western U.S. and into the desert Southwest. As far as precipitation is concerned, during that same time frame, early to mid-October, looks a little bit below normal up there, especially for the Dakotas, Minnesota, or what we call the northern plains or upper Midwest. A little bit wetter for the Northeast especially, but the eastern seaboard in general, and some of this could be fed off the tropics, so be keeping a close eye on that. Now, getting into a little bit of some tropical talk anyway, we are looking at a typhoon that is recurving significantly near Asia, and that's going to be moving into the North Pacific toward Alaska over the next week or two. And looking here at teleconnections, the PNA, the Pacific North American Oscillation, is going to trend a little bit neutral to positive as we get here into early portions of October. And yesterday we were talking that below normal temperatures are favored in the central and eastern U.S. as a typhoon is recurving. Here's today's data, and it looks a lot different, right? We see a lot more orange on here. So I think the data is going to kind of go back and forth on this idea just due to the fact that of the strength of the typhoon, the timing of the typhoon, how fast or slow it moves, and stuff like that. So don't be getting caught up in the deterministic models. You know, one run will show a cooler pattern in the eastern U.S. early to mid-October. Another run will show this very thing here with warmer temperatures. I think the important thing is that we continue to watch the teleconnections. We continue to watch the trajectory of the typhoon once we get into that time frame. What is known is there's going to be some precipitation along whatever front we do see in October there, and it could be heavy again across the Midwest, perhaps into the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley, and this is an area where we need some rainfall here, even after all the 4 or 5 inches of rain we see this week. We're still going to need more rain in the Ohio Valley. That's how dry it is, and it looks like we get another chance as we go into early or even mid-October with that potential front. Now, let's look at the tropics in the Atlantic. Very busy here. It was quiet for a while, but now we have Hurricane Gabrielle, and I want to add that this is going to be a major hurricane for the next couple of days, but the good news is it's recurving, not going to hit any land. It is recurving well out to sea, and it's going to be moving toward Europe, potentially as a wind maker over there by about a week from today. Now, behind that, we have a couple of systems that could develop here. 70% chance of developing system there with a tropical wave in the main development region. This is going to be moving west and northwest of the Leeward Islands over the next 5 to 7 days. A little bit further south and west, that could in fact potentially impact the Bahamas and even Puerto Rico or the Dominican Republic. Is a 40% chance of a tropical wave developing into a tropical depression, for example, or a tropical storm over the next 5 to 7 days as well. So here's that first one. There's Gabrielle. We're going to disregard that. That is a fish storm, but we are looking here at 998 millibars. Some of the members starting to show up there by Wednesday, September 24th. And then by the 26th, we start to see a little bit more of a robust signal of a tropical storm, low-end hurricane. Could be a Category 1 there just to the north of the Leeward Islands. And then that could start to recurve up toward Bermuda. So interest up in Bermuda by next week at this time on the 29th could be watching a hurricane, and a powerful hurricane at that. So we'll be watching Bermuda very closely. Rip current risks, rough surf, and heavy rainfall and winds, of course, will all be an impact to Bermuda if this does, the scenario starts to unfold. And then that second system that moves a little bit further south, this could actually become a powerful system as well. And whether or not it impacts the Bahamas or Puerto Rico or the Dominican Republic, the Leeward Islands, you name it, is to be, hashed out at this point. But we'll continue to watch it. The water temperature suggests that any system that gets in the Southwest Atlantic will become potentially a powerful one, as we have some pretty warm waters, and compared to normal, you can see it is well above the historical average. So any system, again, that gets to the north of the Caribbean or even into the Caribbean will definitely be something to watch moving forward. Now, looking here at the East Pacific, we have Tropical Storm Narda near Mexico, and this is last night. As tropical systems tend to do at night, the convection really starts to blow up, and then during the early morning, you can see it kind of fizzles out. But this is Tropical Storm Narda, a little bit disorganized here this morning, but it's going to continue to move westward and organize back into a hurricane as we go into your afternoon on Tuesday, maybe even the morning hours, and remain a hurricane right straight through the weekend. Right now, maximum sustained winds of 50 miles an hour, moving west-northwest at 13. Looks like it's going to turn due west here over the remainder of the week. And it is also in the realm of some pretty warm waters here into the eastern Pacific. And you can see even into early October, the East Pacific may not be done. I think we could be seeing another tropical storm or hurricane going into the first week of October. Again, taking a similar track to Narda near the Mexico coast and then moving due west or northwest from there. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Long-range tropical outlook does look favorable for the East Pacific to remain active. The Atlantic does look active as we go into early October as well, with some recurvature of those systems with a weak Bermuda high. But I do think the further west these systems get, they could actually affect the east coast of the United States and also the Caribbean islands here from Cuba all the way to the Leeward Islands. We'll be keeping a very close eye on that heading into not only late September here, but also into early October. If you did enjoy my forecast, I encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel for daily weather forecast breakdowns. We cover Canada, the United States, the tropics. We got you covered here, so make sure to subscribe, turn on the post notification bell, and when you subscribe, when it says all, turn it on to all so you are notified for all videos and live streams I do on the channel. Like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, family member, and on social media, and I want to hear from you. What is your favorite fall activity, whether it's hiking, whether it's watching the leaves turn, or just going on drives and, just looking at the landscape? What is your favorite fall activity? Comment in the comment section down below the video. I definitely appreciate it. Thanks for the support, everybody, and I hope everyone has a wonderful first day of fall out there.